All right, welcome back. Thanks for coming back. We've got another episode of Choices, Directors on Directing, and I'm really excited to showcase this director, a good friend of mine, Brett Sorem. He directed numerous projects and is a longtime collaborator of mine, but this particular scene is from a short film he did called The Road Between, and I loved it the first time I saw it, and I think you will too, at least this short bit of it, and we'll try to link to the whole thing in the comments below so that you can watch it. But take a listen to Brett, and we'll see you at the end.
Hey, how's it going? My name's Brett Sorem. Welcome to the opening of my short film, The Road Between. This is my third film as a director, but first as a writer. I'm super honored and pumped to be able to contribute to this Focus on Directing series. I'm actually an editor by trade, which is how I know Jason. I cut his first feature film, Lonely Hearts Club. You should check it out. It's pretty cool. And hopefully I get to work with Jason again in the future. This is relevant because most of my directorial choices stem from my experience as an editor. So for instance, story structure and pacing and tone are three tools that I like to utilize when crafting a story. And so when I'm out on set, shot composition and performance and lighting are, super important to allow me to have the best footage possible in order to try to craft the story in the style that I'm trying to go after. So for instance, one of the decisions that I made in this opening sequence is the location. I wanted it to be as isolated as possible. Trying to find a road out in the desert with no, poles, no power lines was really difficult. The reason I wanted him to be as isolated as possible is because Eli, played by Riley, who did a phenomenal job, is forced to make a really difficult decision, and I didn't want him to be influenced by any sort of outside choices. So for instance, like this shot, isolating our victim in between his legs, was another choice that we made that went along with the isolation sort of theme to this opening sequence. If you haven't noticed by this shot, we are shooting on anamorphic lenses. That was another choice because we wanted to be able to utilize the space in between and on the outsides of the actors to help with isolation. Point of view shots were, something that I wanted to implement in this beginning sequence because I wanted the audience to be able to relate to our character. And I really love how we're able to see her in his glasses on the reflection there as well. I know most people don't choose those choices to have reflection in the glasses, but that was a choice. And now that he has realized that she is in fact alive, his world is kind of turned upside down, which is why we decided to choose that kind of like spinny shot. So now he's at a point where he is forced to make a decision, whether he helps her or whether he doesn't, and nobody else in the world will judge him for it, and he's not going to be influenced either way. It's just up to, his morals and, who he is as a person. So we've obviously learned that he's decided to help her. Good job, Riley. The lighting in the scene is dimly lit to help, kind of project the type of story that this might be, along with the music earlier in the first opening sequence. I really enjoy giving characters an entrance, a unique entrance. So Chad here, played by Christian, we're not really sure who the character is when he's snooping around, but his actions suggest certain things. And now we obviously know that he's a detective, but we weren't really sure quite in the beginning. I wanted to use this, kind of like pass and pull of the card as an avenue in order to bring us in closer. So as Chad uses it on, in life out there to pull Riley in closer, we used that to jump in order to focus on the information and the subtleties being passed between each other. And then when Riley pulls it back out, we are jumping out to the wide. So we kind of know that initial sniffing each other out phase is finished. I'm not sure if you can really hear any of that, but I always like to put some, comedy in my, even in my thriller films. And so, that is part of it as well. Here's your typical establishing shot. We have our character on the left side of the screen, and we have Riley up over on the right. And now, as our antagonist is getting closer and closer, the tension starts to, build and build. And I used that panning wide master, and then I was able to cut that with our approach shot, and the pan helped the scene move and continue to get where it needs to be. Here was another point where we used the anamorphic lenses to our advantage. Was instead of isolating the characters on the sides, we isolated them in the middle in order to help with the tension of the scene. So Eli is trapped because he's getting his gas, and he's stuck in that situation, but there's still all of this space. And so I thought it was a unique way to show him being trapped while also being able to show space on the sides. And I was really happy with how it cut in with the close-ups, where now we are kind of closer and we feel the tension from his perspective. Another thing that I chose to do, which is coming up, is to have certain action take place off camera. It's something, especially in lower budget films, that you can't always show somebody getting shot or pushed off a cliff or this or that or whatnot. And so I always have tended to help make those choices advance the story. So for instance, we saw that Chad did something. We're not sure what he did, but now by this point, through his dialogue and through their tension and through Riley's reaction, we assume that he's pulling a gun. And now that we do see that he had a gun and was threatening to pull it, and now the gas coincidentally is stopped at that exact time, and Riley, is forced to, make his decision whether or not he's going to help him or whether he's going to leave him. But I guess you'll just have to find out, because we are out of time. I believe Jason is putting a link somewhere so you guys can see the film. So if you care to watch the rest of it all, I'd really appreciate it. And I'd love any sort of thoughts and feedback and anything. And hopefully you at least enjoyed procrastinating at work. I love watching YouTube videos at work, and so it helps me get through the day. But nonetheless, thank you very much for taking the time. Go out, make films, enjoy, contribute to the society, and long live art. Cheers.
Awesome. I hope you enjoyed that. So please, if you would like to see more, or just to support us with good karma, hit like, hit subscribe, comment down below in the comments section if you have any specific questions or requests, and have a great day.